Humans walked on the moon over 50 years ago. And then we just stopped. No cities, no bases, no return. But with the Artemis program, humans are going back to the moon. The Artemis program, led by NASA, is humanity's next giant leap. But this time, the goal isn't just to visit the moon. It's to stay. This is the story of the Artemis program. Named after the twin sister of Apollo and the Greek goddess of the moon, Artemis isn't just Apollo 2.0. While Apollo was about proving we could get there, Artemis is about proving we can stay. Unlike the historic Apollo program, which first landed humans on the moon in 1969, Artemis is designed to create a long-term human presence on and around the moon. Here is what Artemis aims to do. Artemis has a few major goals. Return humans to the moon, including the first woman and first person of color. Build a sustainable lunar base. Test new technologies needed for deep space travel. And prepare for future missions to Mars. To get there, we're using the most powerful rocket ever built, the Space Launch System, SLS. It stands 322 feet tall and produces 8.8 million pounds of thrust. Sitting on top is the Orion spacecraft, the capsule that keeps our astronauts safe, fed, and breathing in deep space. But the most interesting part is the proposed lunar gateway. Think of it as a mini International Space Station, but in orbit around the moon. Unlike Apollo, where the lunar lander was attached to the main ship, Artemis astronauts will eventually dock Orion at the gateway, and then hop into a separate human landing system, like SpaceX's Starship or Blue Origin's Blue Moon, to taxi down to the surface. Here are the first few missions of the Artemis program. Artemis I. This was our dry run. Artemis I was launched in 2022. It was an uncrewed test flight of the Space Launch System, SLS rocket, and Orion spacecraft. The uncrewed Orion flew around the moon and back to test the heat shield. It was a massive success. Artemis II. It was launched on April 1st, 2026, with 4 astronauts: Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, who became the first humans to see the far side of the moon with their own eyes. Artemis III. The Artemis III mission will launch the Orion spacecraft on top of the SLS rocket to test rendezvous and docking capabilities between Orion and commercial spacecraft needed to land astronauts on the moon. Artemis IV. This is a big one. This mission is scheduled to land the first woman and the first person of color on the moon's south pole. But why the moon again? Because the moon is a treasure trove of scientific data, and more importantly, it's the ultimate training ground to prepare for missions to Mars. Scientists are especially interested in the moon's south pole because that's where the water ice is. Water means oxygen to breathe and hydrogen for rocket fuel. If we can live off the land on the moon, we can reach the rest of the solar system. Artemis isn't just a US mission. It's the Artemis Accords, a coalition of dozens of nations working together. We aren't just going back to the moon to leave footprints and flags. We're going back to build a base, to learn, and to prepare for the next giant leap, Mars.